talk about some of the client reporting. Rick, I know you in particular have a real passion around it, but what are you seeing as some of the common mistakes that firms are making or missed opportunities client reporting?
Like overcomplicating it, catering to all of the whims, and even say immaterial whims of client requests. Always listen to your client, hear what they're saying, but maybe interpret it in a way that isn't verbatim. And I think overcomplicating things, it really is a challenge, because once you've done that, you maintain an overcomplicated system for the rest of your life. And when you have that one person leave who understands all the little nuances of that, it's really difficult to recreate that. I think focusing on the data that's important. If there's too much noise on the report, it really becomes unusable for the client. I think as wealth managers, as advisors, we need to curate that information. But curate it to the point of, this is the things that you told me were important. This is how I understand you view the world. I'm going to give you the information to help you make better decisions.
Along the lines of the too complicated, I would start with your basic core data. It's really easy to get lost in the one-offs, the one-off question, the minute details. But especially as your firm is growing, starting with your core data that is going to be consistent across all your clients. So have that information that's consistent and start with that as opposed to the one-offs. You're going to have the one-offs. You're going to have client requests. You're going to need to personalize that information for your clients, for sure. But if you start with that personalized information, you're never going to get back to your core data and your core information. And as you scale your firm, you have the opportunity to bring on clients anew, start with basic core information and go from there, as opposed to, well, here was the report I used to get from my old family office, and I want the same exact one. Yeah. It's diving into what's really important, and let's start with the core information. Make sure we have the basic understanding of the client structure, the family structure, the information that's available, and then build on top of it. I think sometimes you're trying very hard to please the client, and it's, well, here's what I had before, and here's what I want again, but that's not sustainable. And then in the long term, you want a business that's sustainable, that's scalable, that you can grow and bring on more families, bring on more clients, and grow your business.
I'd add to that. The first question that I always ask is, what's the story you want to tell with this report? Answer that question, and the report will build itself for you.
Obviously, a core function that these firms are providing is around the investment management component of it. And what I think a lot of firms get caught up in is that how that person within the family office and the data that they want to see, it's not representative of necessarily what the client wants to see. You're not the audience, right? Your opinion is irrelevant, really, when it comes down to what should be in the client report. They want to represent all their work in that report, and sometimes it kind of blows up. But what a CFP wants to see in investment reporting is not necessarily what would be appropriate for maybe a third-gen client that wanted to see that. So you need to think about who is your audience and tailor that reporting to what's important to them, not what's important to you. I think, benchmarking down to the security level is a classic example of that, where can you simplify that report and take away information and keep on taking away information until it doesn't hold up anymore, and then build it back slightly. That's less is more, and it's hard to take away information because it is a representation of the work that they do for their clients. But at the end of the day, it's about the client getting the information that they need. And I think that kind of gets lost in the translation sometimes. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement with client reporting in this industry. I think firms need to think about segmentation as well, and having different reporting packages. Maybe if they are taking a look at it, bringing on a lower tiered client, a more mass affluent client, there is less personalization that they would provide to that reporting level, just because it's not sustainable. Who you're providing for maybe third gen or Gen Z may want to have a different delivery in terms of electronic information versus maybe that founder, still a baby boomer and wants to roll through with his fingers, go through like the Sunday paper. So lots of room, I think, for improvement. It's hard. There's no one right answer. There's no one right answer with a firm, but we certainly see a lot of those common mistakes.
There's a whole lot of wrong answers, though.
Yeah. Yep. So let's talk about the quality and effectiveness of reporting. What would be 2 or 3 things that firms could do right off the bat that just got their reporting package better?
I think something that we've had a couple of clients with a lot of success with. Yes, you have your large client package, your client reporting, but let's start with a high level